All right, here we go. Our first lesson. Prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. We're going to be concentrating mostly on prepositions. We touched a little bit on it last 9 weeks. Now we're going to really get into it. So, our first lesson, 6.1. Alright, a preposition is a word that shows the relationship between a noun and a pronoun. And then another word in the sentence. We're basically going to be looking at prepositional phrases. Let's make this just a little bit bigger. Make it easier for you guys to see it at home. Okay, the noun or the pronoun that follows the preposition is called the object of the preposition. Again, don't get all hung up with all of these terms and terminologies and everything. We're going to make this as easy for you as possible. Let's take a look at this first one, our nice example. My mother read me a story by Aesop. Aesop is a famous writer back from the old Greek days. Okay, your preposition is by. Remember what we learned last time. Your preposition is a word. Basically, it tells you how you can go. Can you go by? I go by the store every morning on my way here. See? That's a preposition. In this case, it's being used to define who wrote the story that my mother was reading. Let's break this down nice and easy. My mother read me a story by Aesop. We're talking about mother. That's your subject. What did mom do? She read. There it is. Alright, what she read? She read a story. What kind of story? Here comes the fun part. This whole thing, this prepositional phrase, is going to work as an adjective because it's telling you what kind of story. The story by Aesop. It's really pretty simple. Alright, we got another one down here. Aesop lived in ancient times. It tells us that in is the preposition. Can you go in? Yes, you can. You can go inside in case the weather is bad. Alright, so Aesop is who we're talking about. What did he do? He lived. Where did he live? In ancient times. That is also a prepositional phrase, but it is working as an adverb because it's telling you where this action took place. In ancient times. It's really pretty simple, folks. Just ask those questions. Here's a list of a lot of prepositions. You know how I feel about lists. You don't have to memorize lists. You can look through this and figure it out and you will learn from it. It's really pretty simple though. All you got to do is ask yourself, can I go about? Please go about your business. Don't bother anybody else. Can I go around? I can go around the town before that I get to where I'm supposed to be. And on and on and on, each and every one of these. You can go in that way. Now, let's take a look at these two examples without having the answers right there for us. Let me bring that up a little bit bigger for us. Okay, Aesop's fables became famous during his lifetime. Alright, what are we talking about? Some of you, if you were here, you would be saying, we're talking about Aesop. No, we're not. Apostrophe S. That tells us possessive. That's not going to be the subject. Ask yourself the common sense question. What are we talking about? Fables. What kind of fables? Aesop's fables. See, that's an adjective. The fables. What did they do? They became famous. That's your verb phrase. When did they become famous? During. That's your preposition. Can you go during? Sometimes you have to go during class and you raise your hand and I let you go, or I say you can hold it. Alright, during his lifetime. That's your prepositional phrase that's going to, again, work as an adverb. It tells you where or how the action is done. Alright, our next example. Some fables are retellings of older stories. Pay very careful attention here. This is the tricky part. Some fables are retellings of older stories. What are we talking about? Fables. Not some. We're not talking about some. What's a sum? Some is not a noun. We're talking about the fables. Fables are, there's your linking verb, are retellings of, right there. That's the one that I told you last 9 weeks. You can't really go of, but it is a preposition. That's the only one that you're going to have to remember. The others, you can just do that little test. Can I go that way? That'll work. It won't work for of, but of is a preposition. I didn't invent this stuff, I just learned it so that I can teach it to you. Of older stories, of stories, that's your prepositional phrase. Now later on this week I'm going to be getting into the diagramming of it, and you're really going to like what I have to show for you there. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Okay, today's lesson is 6.1.